Hi, everybody, and welcome back. It's Yvonne Phillip, your success coach and personal brand stylist. And as you know, where it comes to style, I'm all about sustainability. And I'm back with Heather, who is with her weavers who actually weave the yarn and make the fabric to create the beautiful clothes that she makes as part of her brand. So Heather, I'm so excited to be back with you again, and also go into speak to some of the weavers and see some of the process that they make. So before we do that, let's talk a little bit about the process. The reason I want us to talk about it now is because I know that it can be very noisy when you move to work away with the weavers. So we want to make sure everybody could hear that. So over to you.
Yeah. So I'm actually standing just in front of the weaving studio here. And I use looms that are manual looms, but they're very large. If you look over here, you see under the
Are they working?
under the mango tree. I can walk over there. These are traditional looms, or more traditional looms over here. And as you can see, they are quite narrow. They make these long, narrow strips, you see?
Okie dokie. So these are literally, these people are working underneath a mango tree. Oh, how blissful. To make
that is because these looms are portable, and so they can spread out and come out here. But
so
I use the wide looms, and we'll go in and see those. Because I need to have fabric that's very versatile and large, so I can just make, all sorts of things with it. But traditionally, that's what's made most in Burkina Faso. That's why our fabric is a little bit special for this area, because there aren't a lot of people that have these large looms. Yeah. What's your question?
So the people, I'm so excited, I keep on trying to jump in with questions. So the people that were under the mango tree, how wide is the fabric that they're making? Because we didn't actually get to see the width.
It's about 30 centimeters wide.
Okay, and what kind of traditionally would that fabric be made into?
They make it into what they call pagne, like the traditional wraparound cloth, that you use as a skirt. But they also sew it into all different things, into shirts and into, you can, but you have to sew these strips together. So it's also usually made with a thicker yarn than I use.
Okay.
So it's often quite heavy.
Right.
It makes these, the men have these big traditional shirts that are very wide.
Yes.
That they use, and it's usually with stripes, different colors of stripes. And sometimes they use an eye-cut technique, where you tie-dye the yarn, and that gives a different pattern in the weaving.
As you're going through the weaving process. Okay, I'm so excited now. You ready to show us inside?
So yeah, let's go in and see the weavers. And if you lose what I'm saying because of the noise, well, we'll go back and figure that out. So here's the weaving studio. Actually, people have just been finishing up having some lunch. Let's see here. Let's see who's working here. Oh, look, let's go over to one of the most experienced weavers right here. Her name is Hortense. Do you see her?
I can see her. Hello, Hortense. How are you?
This is a lady from London. C'est une amie de Londres qui veut voir. Tu peux la montrer comment tu fais? Ah oui, tu vas nous faire? Voilà.
So this is traditional weaving. A lot of our fabrics nowadays are made with machinery, but this traditional weaving, authentically.
I'm losing what you say, but here she is weaving. And I think you can see her feet are moving down here.
Okay.
over here is another loom. Ça, c'est une amie de Londres et elle veut voir comment ça se passe ici. So this loom here, this loom here, she's making one of my fabrics. And I don't know, I don't think you can see it, but it has a special texture. So when she moves her feet with the pedals, it's a 4-pedal process to get the pattern. Yeah. So it's quite complicated to make. Yeah. It's more difficult than the one we just saw.
Okie dokie.
Voilà, she's gonna do it a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, she has to reload her bobbin.
No problem. So, how long have these?
Hold on, I can't hear you. Let me get out.
Very noisy inside there, people. So we need to make sure that Heather can hear our questions before we go. So
I think you might be able to hear me, but I can't hear you.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you perfectly. So I'm at an advantage.
So why don't I show you? I'll show you that girl in action, and then there's another one next to her. She's also doing a fabric of mine.
Okay,
good?
No,
okay, here we go. That was good. The whole thing came shooting out.
Okay.
You almost had me like stabbed in the stomach. Okay. And over here is where they're putting the yarn on bobbins.
Okay.
This is another fabric of mine that they're preparing.
Okay, fantastic.
So this one isn't on the loom yet.
They
have to put it on the bobbin.
So the yarn's already dyed.
And actually what they'll do is they will take those bobbins over here. And this, you see this, you see this sort of structure here that has all the bobbins. They're setting them up right now. And you see those are all the yarns. And they pull them through this apparatus right here. And they're going to wind that onto a shaft that they have here, right here. I don't know if you can see. And that is going to make the shaft that they use for the weaving, like this right here.
Okay, so it's a really long, complicated process of making
it takes about a week to just put it onto the loom. Because they have to wind all of these and then, you know, do the pattern by lining up all the yarns and pulling them through. And then they have to, actually over here, this is another fabric that they're putting in place for me. Let me see. So look here, they have to pull them through the comb, see?
Okay, I can see that.
That's a very long and, you know, meticulous process.
And also to make sure that each piece of yarn is going exactly in the right place that you need it to make the fabric.
Yeah, they have to put that perfectly into the right, you know, slot, each little yarn. So, you see? And if they make a mistake, that's not good.
Not good at all.
The mistake will be throughout the whole piece.
Yeah.
So that's a very, very important part of the process.
They probably wondered, who's this strange woman
Here,
looking at
there's
them?
one other person over here. She's doing.
They're very, very big looms, aren't they?
Okay, I'm gonna go back outside.
Yeah.
So we can hear each other.
No problem, no problem. That was so interesting.
Here's one of the weavers I've known from the very beginning, Sunny, coming into work.
What time? I mean, I'm just now we're seeing the weavers. We've obviously spoken about the dyers beforehand. You know, do they work traditional hours? What are their conditions like?
Yes.
Obviously.
Okay, so yeah, that's all very interesting. So these weavers work by the meter. They're paid by the meter.
Fantastic.
And which means they all kind of decide their own schedules, which sometimes is tricky, you know, for me, because, you know, they'll say things will be done at a certain time, and then I realize that, you know, they didn't come in that day or something, you know, because they have full control over their schedule. The work is difficult. I'm not going to say it's easy, and it takes a long time for the weaver to get good enough to get a good salary.
Yeah.
They make between 3 meters and 10 meters. Like Sunny May, who you just saw, he can make 10 meters a day, but that's the limit, really.
Right.
And that's when the conditions are good, because, for instance, in the winter, in the summertime, it's the rainy season, and the humidity makes it harder. You know, they get to stick together, the strings and stuff, and they break. So it depends on the conditions, but in the best of conditions, he makes 10 meters a day, and that's because he's been here, you know, since I remember. He's been here for 9 or 10 years.
Okie dokie. So really, these, you know, where we will have certain professions in law or, you know, experts in, these guys are real experts in what they do. I mean, I saw the footwork. It was like they were dancing on the looms.
Yeah, it's like being a drummer, I think. Kind of like a drummer.
Absolutely. So these
what's
guys
interesting, you know, what's interesting is traditionally, weavers are also musicians. And Sunny May, who you just saw, is one of the top balafon players here in the city. He's an excellent musician. So that's kind of cool. But traditionally, it is also a man's job to do weaving, and we have mostly women here, and it's run by women. So that's, you know, it's not totally following the traditions.
But you know what? We've got to push the boundaries. I'm all about equality and making that woman. So, you know, let's keep the girl power up there. That's, you know, that's good. That's great. And that's great that they are not so pro-tradition that they allow their economy to break down because there's not enough men doing it.
Yeah, exactly. No, and it's also, I appreciate the process that's very transparent. When I come and pay for a fabric, it's in front of everybody. Everybody knows what I'm paying and what they're going to make and how much everybody makes along the process.
Good, yeah.
And how much money has to be kept aside for reparations and, you know, whatever they need to keep the studio going.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciate that. But I really want to ramp my business up so I can help them have better conditions. This is a cooperative, so they're not directly my employees, and they take jobs from wherever they come from. Mm-hmm. My own employees, I've been able to get them insurance cards for health that pays for 75% of their health benefits, their health needs, whatever happens, if they have a accident, you know, if it's a big thing or a little thing, and for their children as well. I would love to extend that to these people, you know, but I need to get to a better point where I can do things like that.
You need
I
to
would
get
love
more
to help
business.
them with their organization, because often since they're working by the piece, they don't spend the time to have, you know, to put in place infrastructure that you need to be organized, like shelving and, you know, places where you can sit and have lunch in a nice way, or, you know, things like that. So I'm hoping that we work together to, you know, it's all sort of a roadmap that we have to follow.
I must say, I'll be fine eating lunch under the mango tree. I would have no problem.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But, no, the mango tree is wonderful.
But I do understand that, you know, but it's great that you've identified those things. And the fact of the matter is, they're a contractor of yours, and you don't need to be, you know, conscious or aware of their conditions. But as a ethical business, you're thinking, I need to make a positive contribution to my whole supply chain, and that is really admirable. Not admirable.
Yeah, well, you know, otherwise it's all a question of, you know, competition and pricing, and they do seem to really like to work with me, because when they tell me of things that are concerning them or have a problem, or if they say, you know, we've thought about this and we're charging too little for this, we need to charge this amount. And I always listen to them, and always, you know, I've never refused one of their requests, because it's always a good conversation, and they have also been very honest on their side of things. So it's been a great relationship. You know, sometimes it's difficult, just you know, we have communication glitches sometimes, and sometimes their organizational skills are not the best, and so things get, you know, lost along the way or something like that. But it's been you know, for me to keep working with them all these years means that it's been positive.
It's been positive. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I like the fact that we both use the word positive, because, you know, you have built fantastic relationships with, you know, with the community out there, and I know I find it amazing, and this is why I wanted to bring you on and do this series with you.
Yeah, it's exciting.
So now that we've seen the way that the fabric is made, I can't wait to come in and see some of the finished designs when we visit your factory in the next video. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. So until then, we're going to say goodbye to everybody that's watching. Unless there was anything else, anything else that you wanted to add about the process.
Well, if you'd like to see me work with the ladies who decide how to set things up to produce a particular pattern, you can. I can have somebody hold the camera and you can see that.
Most definitely.
You want to try that? We can try. I'm going to see if they're, you know, ready to do that.
Have you spoken to them about it?
Let's just try.
Heather, did you speak to them about it beforehand?
Sure. Yeah. Well, they know that you're here, and they know that you were wanting to see their process. So let me see here, Madame Sakonde. Donc c'est la dame de Londres. Et this is Madame Sakonde. She runs the shop. She's really the chief here. Et je parle en anglais. And elle aimerait nous voir quand je montre le dessin. Voilà. Mais est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un qui peut porter le caméra pour que je peux montrer? Quelqu'un qui peut porter ça là? Ok. Sylvie.
I think that we've just got permission, guys.
Okay. So we have Sylvie who's coming to hold the camera. This is also one of the weavers I've worked with. Alors, il faut tenir ça comme ça, là, pour qu'on voit nous deux. D'accord? Mais où est-ce que j'ai laissé mon sac? Oui.
Guys, what Heather's doing at the moment is she's just getting permission to see how she works with the weavers to set everything up.
Là, on doit recréer cette tissu-là. Celle-là, là. D'accord? Mais en fait, ces dessins-là, vous voyez là, il y a, c'est inégal, le jaune et le vert. Et en fait, j'aimerais que ce soit égal. Vous voyez là, c'est égal. Le vert et le jaune là. Vous voyez? Donc c'est ce dessin-là, mais avec ces couleurs-là.
Pas de problème, ça marche.
D'accord.
Ça marche. Donc, vous... Ça veut dire, il y a le nimacé, Nikabo. C'est simple, ça veut dire, on enlève un peu ici, on ajoute ici pour faire les mêmes bases. On va prendre le nombre total du fil, on divise par deux.
Voilà.
Okay,
donc, j'ai les couleurs ici que j'ai amenées. J'ai ces couleurs-là et ces couleurs-là. Vous voyez, c'est juste les trois couleurs parce que ça se répète ici. Mais le noir et le turquoise, je pense qu'il y a des restes ici, mais je ne sais pas. D'accord. Voilà. Okay. Est-ce que vous pouvez sortir les couleurs là, qu'on peut les voir, et montrer à la dame? C'est trop loin. C'est trop difficile. D'accord. Ok. Donc, bon, je vais dire au revoir. Et vous dites au revoir? Voilà. Tous les gens là. Vous dites au revoir. Okay.
So Heather, did you speak French? Heather, did you speak French before you moved out to Bucano?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I'm married to a Frenchman.
Right.
So I have a trick.
You have something.
I get home training for French.
What were you saying? What were you saying to them? What was you saying to them in terms of?
So I was saying that we were going to recreate the fabric that had the very bright colors, but we were going to use the design of the fabric that had the lighter colors.
Right.
And I was saying that I had brought those colors, the yarn, and they said they were going to go and get the bag from stock of the colors that I brought, and then we're gonna continue from there to make sure they understand. But it's a fabric that they've made before, so when they have the example, they'll be able to do it again.
Yeah. They'll be able to do it quite easily. That is fun. I mean, they must be so experienced and knowledgeable about the whole process of like how much is required to, you know, in terms of, you know, that piece was striped. So how much yarn is required to create that exact width of stripe, etc., etc. And I think that it's really
and now I've been able to understand that myself as well, so I can bring them the right quantities to work with. And it's been a learning process, that part. At points we've made mistakes, but now I understand it better now.
Okay. Oh, that's fantastic. So this has been so interesting, and I hope everybody watching has found this part of our journey together really interesting. Obviously, as I mentioned before, we do have one last video coming to you, which is Heather in the factory where her garments are made and put together. So hopefully you guys will join us then, and I'm going to stop recording now, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care for now.
Okay, bye.